4.
We had to take a little break there in order to bring Mr. Leroy Becker onto the set with me. Mr. Becker is the Executive Director for the Historical Figures Foundation, and I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about that foundation because it's in conjunction with the Carnivale Ventura. Now, the foundation's a 501c3, it's basically a charitable organization that people can contribute money to, and it's tax deductible and all that. And it's dedicated to the work with the figures. I mean, the preservation of the figures and the educational effort around the figures. But why did you do that? Why did you need to do that?
Well, I saw the figures in the museum, of course, where there are over 200 figures in the museum.
Right.
And I became intrigued with his art and workmanship. But then I was lucky enough to hear one of his monologues, which you have enjoyed also.
The George Stewart
monologues.
Yeah.
And that convinced me that we had a treasure right here in Ventura. And we needed to bring it to the public's attention, especially since it has the educational component to it.
But it's in the museum. It doesn't. I mean, the museum is protecting it and preserving it, and I would just presume they're promoting it as well.
They do a little bit of that. They have a number of collections and a lot of activities. They've really stepped up their activities. Mr. Stewart's collection is one of the 3 legs of the museum, according to the management. However, it takes the extra effort to take it outside of the museum.
I see.
And this is where we got Mr. Stewart's permission early on in the museum to build an archive of new digital photography of all of the historical figures. There are nearly 400 of them. And so we have excellent digital images now, some 20,000 images of the figures online. The first use of those figures was to build a website for the general public so that they could not just see images, but they could learn about the figures. So if you go to our website, every figure has its own pages, and you can learn a little about the figures and get a lot of resources.
Oh, I see.
To move forward.
You just mentioned there are 400. That's twice as many as actually are in the museum.
Yes, that's his total body of work is around 400, a little over 400 now. Another 100 are still in his private collection, and another 100 are among private owners around the world. In fact, some as far away as Paris.
So, and part of the reason then for this foundation is to document all those figures.
Exactly. Not only the figures, but how he builds them. We've documented how he sculpts the heads and how he makes the clothes, and the whole process has been documented in about 10 hours of videos.
He's a very meticulous artist.
Yes, indeed. There's nobody else in the world that does what he does, that's for sure.
Well, what are then the major projects that you have and that this foundation undertakes to promote these figures? And so
well, in addition to the website, we also are undertaking the Carnivale Ventura to bring the historical aspects, combine the historical aspects, entertainment aspects to the public in Ventura County and Southern California. We've had other projects. For example, we do promote exhibits of the figures around the country. Last year we had a 5-month exhibit at the Clinton Presidential Library in Little Rock of the American figures. We've had other figures in Pasadena Historical Library and the Ojai Museum, Ojai Valley Museum, and in the museums as far away as Tucson and, like I say, Little Rock. There's a lot more of that to be done. The figures, while they're not fragile, they're not made out of marble or cast bronze. So as sculptures go, they're a little more delicate, and the exhibiting of them is a little trickier.
Now you obviously have a website, and you apparently do some information on that as well as in terms of not just the figures, but about the foundation and what have you.
Yes, it's called galleryhistoricalfigures.com. You can Google George Stewart historical figures, and he pops up right on the first page. This, over 250,000 people a year visit the website, and over 500,000 people have seen the video clips on the website that we have. So it's a very exciting website if you want to learn a little history quickly and enjoy his work.
Yeah, good. And now, how do you generate the funds that support this foundation?
Well, like a typical nonprofit, we're dependent to a great extent on membership. We have associates and full memberships, and there's a cadre of admirers of his that predate me even, that have supported our endeavor. In addition to that, we do sell the DVDs, the instructional DVDs on Mr. Stewart, and also some of his monologues are now on DVD. Mm-hmm. We also have grants. The Smith Hobson Foundation, for example, recently gave us a grant to extend the video on the website.
And I understand that you have some needs that you're looking for, I guess, volunteers to help out with, or are these employment opportunities?
Well, yes, we have need for technical support of all kinds, people that have skills. We could use an accountant skills for a while right now. We need video editors to produce more of his monologues. We have a lot of content, but there's a long distance between the content and finished product.
And you need a graphics designer as well.
Yeah, we need a graphics designer as well, yes.
Well, it's very interesting. How can, if people wanted to volunteer to do these things, or just assist in any way, how could they get involved?
Well, they contact me at info@galleryhistoricalfigures.com, which is our website. Mm-hmm. You can contact me through there, or I'm in the phone book.
Okay. And that, do you mind if I give out the number?
Not at all.
All right. The phone number is 641-3100, and that's an 805 area code. And if you want more information about Carnivale Ventura, you could call Angel Jones at 805-258-8694. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right.